Hey guys, how's the front end on this thing? It's the new Lexus RX. I know design is a subjective thing and you know everyone's got their own opinion, but I reckon universally that's going to be seen as a bit ugly the way that nose sticks out. Aside from that though, this is the all new model switching to a TNGA based platform. It looks nice, it looks modern. I even like the way the grille, these pieces sit individually. It looks very sophisticated and smart. And then around at the back you've got the full width tail light, which seems to be the trend these days. Yeah, it looks very elegant. This is the RX350h model. We also tested the 350 as well with the 2.5 turbo, but I think this one's going to be the pick purely because it is a hybrid. It's very fuel efficient. The new 2.4 turbo is an interesting engine, but I don't know. I don't see many people, or as many people, taking that option up in Australia anyway. So we'll check out the interior. But I just wanted to show you something before we go in. This has got new electronic door handles. So basically, the handle itself doesn't move. There's a button behind the handle that you just touch with your finger and it unlocks the door kind of thing. It is a bit strange to get used to, and I find that it doesn't shut all the time. You've got to actually give it a good push to close it. And then inside as well, there's these new handles. So you can push this little lever like a button. You can hear it opening up there. Or you can treat it as a more conventional lever and pull it all the way out. It does take a little bit of getting used to. You sort of just use your thumb to push the button and then push the door out as you go out. But yeah, if you're not interested in doing that, you can always just pull the whole lever out. And then inside, the interior is all new. So this is a fresh look for Lexus. It's got this wraparound dash and then a massive touchscreen in the middle there with a single piece that comes all the way through over to the instrument cluster. The problem with shiny black plastic is that it shows all the dust and all the fingerprints, especially when it's turned off. I'm not a big fan of this touchscreen system, as in the operating system. It's just, there's a lot of blank space everywhere. So everything you click, it just seems like, yeah, there's just lots and lots of blank space everywhere. Even if you click music, it's just, I don't know. This main settings, like what happened to all this space over here when you've just got this little row? But it does make a huge difference when you connect with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So then you get the full traditional sort of app widgets all over the screen. I like that the climate control is slightly separate. You've got your temperature, which actually goes through little windows and it joins the main touch screen. But it is good, yeah, having the ability to turn the air conditioning off or hit recirculation, change the fan speed straight away without actually diving into this big touch screen. And then down below, plenty of storage. This one's got twin USB-C ports and then even more. A couple of other extra ports down there as well, and then a wireless charger just on the side here. The RX has always been known to be very practical car, so the new model is the same. Yeah, there's plenty of storage, huge center console box as well, and even in the back you've got a fair bit of storage too. Passenger space is really good. I've got plenty of headroom. This one's got the full size moonroof, and yeah, plenty of headroom and legroom. You won't be wanting for more space. Something that has been introduced for the new model is a driver monitoring camera system. I find these pretty annoying, mainly because when you're driving along and you look away for 1 second or you check your kids in the back, it'll say focus on the road. But I feel like it's not really a safety system, because if you're driving along looking sideways the whole time and you need something to tell you, hey, look where you're driving, then you probably shouldn't be driving in the first place. You know what I mean? I don't think it actually serves a massive purpose. I think it's just technology being introduced perhaps for the sake of it. It's like, wow, look at what we can do. All cars are coming out with these days. It's not just Lexus. I'm not picking on Lexus here. I just don't think that it's a major breakthrough in vehicle safety. I think, yeah, looking away for a second or sneezing, or if you yawn, it says, you know, you're tired or something like that. You know, we know when we're tired, we know when we're looking away. We're not that, I just don't think that's as useful as it's made out to be. Then we'll check out the back seats. I've got the baby seat in there, plenty of room. You could actually have a rear facing seat with leftover space before it hits the front seat. And then yeah, heaps of leg room. This one's got climate control or part climate control, temperature adjustment, although you can't change the fan speed, but you can change the direction of course. And then there's 2 USB-C ports on either side there. It's got a big center console as well, extra storage, cup holders. Yeah, very practical and convenient. How many planes I want to go past right when I'm filming? And plenty of leg room, so even my knees are nowhere near that front seat. They are a huge car, the RX, and it's known for, you know, being a good family car. It's the same with this model. It does have a reclining rear seat as well. So this seat will actually recline forward and backwards if you want it to, for a bit more comfort. And then right up the back, a huge boot, electronic tailgate for this model. Loads of room in there. You can flip down the seats from the little buttons on the side there. It's got a 12-volt socket and some underfloor storage as well. So we'll take it for a quick drive and see how it handles. So far, I think it's a bit firmer than the previous model on little bumps. But then when you start going around some dippers and some sweeping bends with some bumps in it, it just is not quite as resolved as some of the German rivals, but it is much, it's a big improvement over the previous model. This one does come with the pretty small alloy wheels, 19 inches, so they're still pretty big I guess, but yeah, the tyre sideball there is huge, so that means better comfort on the road, but it also means steering response and handling response is not going to be as sharp as a set of lower profile tyres. This one doesn't come with a surround view camera, which is a little bit disappointing for a modern, fairly high-end, fairly expensive car, but it does have a very crisp rear view camera anyway. One of the great things about Lexus vehicles is just the build quality, and it's the same with the new model. It feels very well made in here, and in fact I'm often recommending Lexus vehicles to my friends and family who say, you know, what kind of car should I buy, just because I know it's probably not going to backfire on me, as in things aren't going to fall apart and then I'm going to come chasing back and say, why did you recommend that Lexus? Because I know I've got full confidence that this will last for a long time. Going with the hybrid means the powertrain is very quiet and very smooth. You can hear the petrol motor start up. It's in electric mode. And then the petrol motor starts up, but it's quite seamless. I mean, Lexus has got huge history with hybrid systems now, doesn't it, with Toyota, so they know what they're doing. There are a few drive modes to select from. You've got to go into the touch screen and you can go Sport, Eco or Custom, and you can customize the different settings to your own taste. If you want more sportiness though, you can get the F Sport pack. Yeah, it does handle much nicer than the previous model, I think. It's not as soft and it's not as sort of rolly, the body roll. It remains very flat. I think most RX buyers, you know, handling performance isn't going to be the top priority. I think the RX is more known for its smoothness, luxury, quiet, and absolute refinement and build quality. And those traits are carried over from the previous model into this new generation, I think, putting it near or at the top of the class in those areas. Lexus likes to boast technology advances, and I think with the latest model, what they're boasting now is this touchpad system. They used to have a little trackpad down here on the center console, which was, yeah, pretty complicated. Whereas now they've got this touchpad system on the steering wheel. Basically, you only need to rub your finger over the top of it and it will prompt the menus, which are up on the head-up display. You probably can't see that, but to me, I think it's quite complicated to use, especially when you're driving. And then on this side, I'm yet to figure out what it does exactly, apart from change the radio, or change the track of the song that you're listening to. You push this menu button here, and I don't know if you can see on the head-up display there, but it's just rotating to show either the audio mode or the phone call. So you hit this top button to cancel your phone call, and then hit this bottom button to prompt the voice activation system. I can't figure out how to change any of the display in the instrument cluster though. I'll keep looking and spend a bit more time with it. But yeah, I think some of this system is a bit too complicated. Again, you get used to these things and everything becomes second nature. But just initially, I think it's a little bit complicated. Okay, so I figured it out. What you got to do is hit this button here, and up on the display, it'll show, you probably can't see that, but I'll try and line it up for you. But basically it rotates a different menu system, so you can use these side buttons to change the display. I just wanted to run you through to show you the fuel economy average. I've been driving this for a few days now, and it's averaging 6.3 litres per 100 kilometres. So that's very good fuel economy for a big SUV, a big luxury SUV too. Anyway, we're about to join the highway now, so I'll give it the beans. We'll put it into sport mode just for the sake of it. It goes very nicely for what it is, especially for that economy. Flat to the floor. That's 100. So it's pretty quick. It's definitely quick enough for what it's intending to be. Out on the highway, it's very solid and sturdy. It feels planted. It's not moving around in the lane due to the wind much at all. Yeah, it feels like a very good cruiser. It's just the initial bumps, I think, the smaller bumps. You can hear a bit of the road noise as well. It picks up these finer details more so than the bigger bumps, because when you hit the bigger bumps, it kind of just bounces a little bit, but you get comfort for that. And that's what I think the Lexus RX is focusing on. It's more about comfort. Plenty of safety systems here, not just that camera system. Fully adaptive cruise control with steering assist if you'd like it. So you can basically let go of the steering wheel, although this is not recommended or even legal in Australia, but it will actually keep you in the lane nice and safe. It's just there so if you start to get a bit lazy or you're changing the radio station or something, you're not focusing on the road, it will make sure you're staying in your lane. It's a very good system too. There are a number of lane keep assist systems out there that kind of just bounce you around in the lane, whereas this feels like it knows where the lines are and it's just making fine adjustments to keep you within the lines. Very good all-round visibility as well. I can see nicely over the dash. The bonnet goes straight down and you can see a clear view out the front, and it's got these little triangular side windows as well as relatively thin pillars, so you can see over the mirror. There's no major blind spots there. Yeah, it feels very comfortable and easy to drive. So there you have it guys, the new RX. As I said, I'm not a massive fan of that front grille, but aside from that, it's a really nice car. I know Lexus wouldn't want to change its formula too much because the RX is a very popular model, and I think this has just evolved in pretty much every way. In terms of the downsides, it's maybe a little bit boring in some ways, but the RX has always been about that. And if you want a bit more zing, there is the RX350h model as well, which is 270 kilowatts, 2.4 turbo-petrol hybrid engine. Very interesting combination actually for this segment. So that adds a bit of pizzazz to the lineup. But yeah, the RX350h is probably going to be the most popular variant because it is a great all-rounder.